What a busy day out here on the trenches. So I started my day at 4 o'clock this morning, and I got on the freeway, and I want to do a little bit of research. But when I got on the freeway this morning, there was a terrible motorcycle accident. It looked so bad, and so it pushed me to be almost an hour late for my normal commute. And I just hope that man's family, or that woman's family, that person's family, I hope they are doing well, considering, because yeah, there was, they shut down the whole freeway whenever there is a death. So for me to be inconvenienced for an hour means nothing compared to what that family has to go through dealing with the death of that rider. He was completely, from the looks of it, it looks like he may have just slipped on the slippery road, because our streets were made by kindergartners here in Washington, and they didn't allow for rainfall. So when the rain does fall, we don't have proper drainage systems, and the oil from the asphalt comes up, and it becomes a dangerous slick conditions, especially for motorcycles this time of year. My ex used to tell me it's safer to drive in the rain than in regular, but I doubt I've done any research to prove that to be true or false. But it was a horrible realization to see at that time of morning too, because mind you, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I leave at that time because there's not many cars out, and I can get to my 2-hour commute in 45-50 minutes if I'm pushing it, right? I leave at that time because there's barely anybody on the road. And as I'm getting older, it's harder for me to really feel confident. And since my last 2 accidents over the last 2 years, it's really hard for me to not feel anxious driving with all these people on the road. So I found that if I drive at times where there isn't a lot of cars, I'll do fine. I don't seem to jump and whisk at, what I used to not even get intimidated by. I get very intimidated by passing by lights too fast. These LED lights that some of these cars have don't make it easy. They blind you before you can see anything. So me leaving at that time, I just figured there'd be no traffic, but my inconvenience of sitting in traffic pales in comparisons to what that family has to go through. So rest in peace to that motorcycle driver who lost his life today on Kent Des Moines Road in Washington on the freeway on I-5, because it was very, very sad. It looked like he was alone. Maybe slick roads was a key, and he went, the motorcycle was facing the wrong way on the freeway, and his body was several yards away. And it didn't look like there's any kind of collision. It just, maybe he just was slick and lost control. I hope there was no alcohol or drugs involved to make him inebriated to where he couldn't drive properly. But that's what started off my day. And then got to my destination about an hour normally later than I do, which of course, is no issue for me, because I travel and keep my bed in my car, so I can take a nap anywhere. So when I got to my destination later than normal, I just took me a nap. I crashed out about 6:30 this morning, crashed out till about 9:30, and at 9:30 I got up, found the 7-Eleven. What I do notice about this area, the predominantly Caucasian area that I am in Woodinville, there is a need for convenience stores, right? There's corner stores and convenience stores all throughout the urban part of the state. Coming out here, there's barely any 7-Elevens. There's no convenience stores of that nature, and I am a part of the beverage club at 7-Eleven. So I found one today. It happened to be right by a Jamba Juice, which I'm also a part of their beverage club on there. So I got up about 9:30. I slept at the LA Fitness. That's here in this town because I do have a membership to them. But it's a LA Fitness Signature, which means it's the upper echelon of all LA Fitnesses. It isn't just like your normal LA Fitness, which I am not a part of, which I might rethink my membership qualities. I'm preparing to do some gardening, which I might, what was I saying? Oh, which I might join, because if I'm going to be out here working with the production and the actors, I want to be able to have a place to shower at. Or I was thinking about joining Planet Fitness, but they're not 24 hours either. They don't open up till 4 a.m. and then they don't close. I think they close later than LA Fitness, but still they're not open 24 hours, which I thought initially, which is why I want to have dual memberships at both gyms. But that's not the case. So I might join the Signature Gym just because it is the only one here in this area for me. Out here in Kirkland, Woodinville, they only have the Pristine Club. They don't have just the regular Dilly Dally Club. So I might join that. But yeah, I slept at the gym for a few hours, got up at 9:30, went and found a 7-Eleven, went there, got my beverage, went to Jamba Juice, got a smoothie from there. Then came to this park. Let me show you. Came to this little park. There is nobody here. Like, it's a beautiful park, right? And it has a little covered area. Came to this park, got ready, got dressed, put on my hair, makeup, and had an interview. I am currently in a situation where my ancestors are giving me a transitional period to start entertaining. I have always been a fan and a person who does acts of service, you know. But my acts of service in my current situation are being heavily taken advantage of. I have a new client on the roster, which I'm very appreciative to have, because I almost didn't have her and then didn't have any clients and then be in a whole different situation. But I took on this client. I initially knew she was going to be a lot because of the ad that she put up before her nursing care started. She wanted to go on walks. She needed her hair palm rolls. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, she wants to do this, while she gallivants and does nothing to facilitate. She wants full-time work for part-time hours, essentially, which I don't mind doing because I need my money, right? But last week when I was there, it felt like she gets an allotted amount of miles a month. She's already gone through her allotted miles for the month, and it's only the 9th. That day, it was the 8th day of the month, and her miles are out, right? So that means I'm going to have to supplement my income in order to make sure she makes her doctor's appointments, which I don't mind doing if we can trade me actually physically being there for the hours worked as opposed to the hours I'd be there in exchange for the mileage, so she can go to school, because she goes to school, she goes to college, and she has these appointments that are 32 miles away. So I say, okay, well, I'll only work with you 3 days of the week for 5 hours. That way it will supplement. But what I'm doing in those 3 days a week is a 40-hour-a-week job. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm taking her to all her appointments. And last week when I was driving her around, she just wanted to hop in my car and go to places where she didn't have any business to handle. We go to a pharmacy where her meds ain't ready yet. We go to Amazon where her packages aren't delivered yet. All these places, wasting gas time, and I have a truck that's premium gas because I have a premium car. She makes no apologies or even consideration that she led me astray, which then starts to put me in a box like my previous client who just took advantage of my kindness for weakness, my money, everything else. And I I always try and go the distance for Black women because she's another Black woman. I try to go the distance because I put Black women on a pedestal, but I will not be taken advantage of. So I inadvertently applied for a position and I got an interview today. So I came here for an interview. It was a lovely, lovely area to have an interview in. The interview went splendidly. I had a whole panel of people asking me questions, which was a first for me. Usually I'm only used to dealing with 1 or 2 people asking me questions, but clearly I don't scare easily. And it was no big deal. So yeah, I came here to this park, had an interview. They have a covered little space. At that time it wasn't raining, so I was able to actually sit outside and enjoy the comforts of this park. And then while I was on shift, while I was at my interview, I was already on shift with my other client, who I get paid for even if I'm not there. So I was able to make money while potentially interviewing to make more money and put myself just in a better situation to where I'm not feeling like I'm being taken advantage of. And I guess that's the reason why I'm making this video, that always know your worth. And just because you're in a predicament where you obviously need to make a living, right? You need to make a living to support yourself. Nothing is free. But don't let the job take advantage of you and define you. Don't let those people make you feel like you're a slave to them. Because what I have noticed is the second you don't do what they want you to do, they will get rid of you and hire somebody for cheaper in a heartbeat. So don't give your blood, sweat, and tears for anybody other than you. Always take care of you first and take care of everything else second. Because at the end of the day, all you do is yourself. So I'm going to go back to the area in which I had my interview. I mean, just look, there is no one here. It's a small little park, and there is a porta potty, and there's like no one here, and there's a covered space. You got a bike rack. I don't know what's over there, but I'm going to go see. But today is your reminder from me to you. So don't let anyone shortchange you. Don't let anyone feel like you're not worth it. And don't work for free. Because you are worth all the money. You are worth all the glory. And don't shortchange yourself. Because you are worth it. Oh, okay. I wanted to say what was over here. They got a little bench over here in the shadows. What's so different about this area is that I'm from an urban area, and all these parks are not this nice. And all these parks are heavily overrun by people who don't enjoy the park. So this is a nice change to be in a park like this. So who knows about the interview? Who knows about how it really went? I was on a panel of like probably 6 people. I should have wrote all their names down so that way I could block them on social media so they don't get the wrong idea about anything. Just something that I do. I don't do the coworker bit. I don't do the investigating me bit. I just do the block off future coworkers bit as soon as I can. So stay true to yourself. Don't work too hard. And love, peace, hair grease, and wet bed sheets. Love you, bye.